Hello and welcome. I'm Kathy Lee from Kathy's Creative Place. I have some projects I want to share with you, and these are basically some dimensional cards that I made from the Country Craft Creations Craftology box for September. Now, the Craftology box includes uh, the Twilight papers from Authentique. They're very, very cute. Lots of pretty orange, black, and ivory colors for Halloween. And then you also get a sticker sheet with your kit, and then you get some glassine bags. And I'm going to use these for another project that I'll be sharing as well. And then for my for my a majority of my projects, I've made these dimensional cards, and then I have a mini album coming as well. So let's take a look at my cards that I made, and I hope it inspires you to make some of these as well. These are standard A4 size cards, so it is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. You can make them top folding or left side folding, but I added a 1/2 inch gusset for my cards. That makes them dimensional. And then I just cut some cardstock, some pattern paper, and then I used, for all of my cards, I used the 3x4 cut aparts. They're just adorable. And then I had some other things in my stash that I used, some twine, this, and this cute little um, spider web does not come with the kit, so I just use those. And then I also use some of the uh, stickers, and then Tammy included some charms in the kit, so I use some of these charms for my cards as well. And then when you open it up, I've got the glassine bag is actually glued inside, and then I put another one of the 3x4 cut aparts, and it's got little candy bars and pieces in here, so you can give to the kids next door or your grandkids or kids' friends, even a teacher. These are so cute, and they're so easy to put together. Here's a top folding one. This is a sticker, 3x4 cut apart. Again, another little lawn fawn die. It's this one that has a little spider web and spiders. That's what I use for these. And then I also cut out a little pumpkin from the paper. There's these, let's see if I can find it. It's this paper here. And I just cut out a little pumpkin, and then I put some Nouveau glaze on it. And here's some more of that cute little twine. And then you open this one. This one's top folding, and then you just put your candies inside. Here's the 3x4 cut apart for that one. And the next one, pretty much the same types of features. Sticker. In this one, I wrapped some of my twine around the card, and then this is a die that I had in my stash. It's just a pumpkin die, a dimensional pumpkin die, and this top loading as well. And then this one with the cute little 3x4 cut apart. And then the last one. Also in the kit, you get some ribbons. It's really, really cute. There's this canvas ribbon with orange polka dots, and then here's some I forgot what this is called, grosgrain. So it's grosgrain ribbon with kind of the ends that are fringed. It looks fuzzy on the end. It's really cute ribbon. And then I have some black seam binding, and for this one I use the black seam binding on my card with the cute little spider web, and then this cute little spider charm, a 3x4 cut apart, and then this is a left open card, candy inside, and cute little witch dressed up, brewing in her cauldron. I love this paper pack. It's got the cutest little 3x4 cut aparts, so I really had a lot of fun making these. So I'm not going to do a tutorial. It's basically just I'll give you the measurements if you want to make these. Grab my ruler here. So the cardstock that I used is artisan cardstock, and I cut 9 inches, I think. Yeah. So for a left folding, it's 9 inches by 5.5, and then I just scored at 4 1/4 and 4 3/4, and that's how you make your 1/2 inch gusset. For the top folding ones, these are 11 1/2, and then you score at 5.5 and 6 for your 1/2 inch gusset on the top folding cards. So those are my cards for the Craftology box. And I also have, in your kit, you also get this cute little charm from ButterBee Scraps. So I thought I would make this while I'm on camera. That way you can see how I do my jewelry making. I also have a little charm here that I made that's for my album that I'm finishing up with this collection as well. Some of these charms were all given to me by Tammy from ButterBee Scraps. And then I just took some beads that I already had in my stash and created some cute little charms and put it on this string of chain, and really simple and easy to do. So we're going to make the charm that came with your kit. Okay, so I've laid out my charm here so that we can work on putting it together. Really very simple. Your instructions tell you how to kind of set up your charm, and this is what it's going to look like when you're done. So there's the top of the charm is the lobster claw, jump, and large jump ring, and that's this, and then it will connect to your chain. Okay, and then it also shows you how to lay out each one of your charms and what jump rings you have. So there's these large jump rings. I'm just going to go through these real quick so you can see how different they are. Okay, so you should have large jump rings, medium, and small. So each one of these, it tells you in your instructions how to lay it out. So I will put these back. Okay. So what we're going to do first is we're going to build the chain. So you've got a large jump ring here. Now a little bit about tools. I have the standard tools here. I have a chain nose pliers. This is just a flat chain nose pliers, and then I have a bent chain nose pliers. So it has the bend. It does the same thing. It's just bent at the tip. Then I have my round nose pliers. These help us create those eye pins, those rings. And then I also use a set of flush cutters. These are flush cutters. I also have another pair of cutters. These are just your regular plier cutters. The flush cutters actually are flush though. So when you cut a wire and you cut the end of it, it will make that pin flush on the top. Where these will actually cause it to have kind of a pointed edge, or I guess you could call it kind of a mountain looking edge, because they're not flush on the back. They have that groove on both sides. These are flush on the back of the pliers, so your cut on your wire is going to be just flush at the top. Okay. I hope I made sense in that. So anyway, I like to use my flush cutters because it doesn't leave any uh, harsh ends on your wires when you're done. That way it doesn't catch on things. That's the reason why I use my flush cutters. Okay, so first of all, we're going to take um, lobster clasp. We have um, our large head, excuse me, our large jump ring. I'm out of camera and didn't realize it. I've had to really zoom in so that you can see what I'm doing. And this mat is one of my favorites to work with my beads because they don't roll around. It's a Ken Oliver mat. So if you you spill something, it stops pretty quick. So, but anyway, and I get a lot of glare from my light, so I apologize. I'm going to try and be as close to the camera as possible so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start with our jump ring because we're going to open that and put our lobster claw and our chain on it first. So a little bit about jump rings. When you open a jump ring, you always open side to side, never like this, because you weaken the metal. So always open with two pairs of your pliers like this. Oh, sorry about that. It's really hard to see. So you've got your jump ring open now, so you can see. Okay, also, another tool that I always have on hand, I've got this jump ring tool, and it's just a ring, and it has a space in it so that I can use it to open and close my jump rings. Cool, right? I love this tool. I use it all the time. So that way I don't have to have another pair of pliers in my hands. So we're going to put our lobster claw on and then our chain. Okay, and I'm just going to use my jump ring and close that up. There you go. And that's the first part of putting your charm together. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're just going to work on each of the charms as I've laid them out here. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do with this one, this has an eye pin, and an eye pin is a piece of wire with your eye already created. So that has your loop, and then we're going to put our charm on the end of that loop. So what we're going to do is we're going to string on our crystal bead, and then your black bead comes next, and then a bead cap. This is the little scroll bead cap. Okay, now we're going to make a loop with this eye pin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my chain nose pliers, and I'm going to put my chain nose pliers up against the end of my wire and just bend 90 degrees. So it looks like this now. Okay. Now, we're not going to use those again. We're going to come in here with our round nose pliers. This is going to make the ring on the other side. So at this point, since we only need the ring, we're going to cut the length off, and I'm probably going to cut it at a little less than ½ an inch. That should be enough to make my loop. Okay, so I'm going to cut that off. Okay, now it looks like this. Okay, Now I'm going to take my chain nose or my round nose pliers, and I'm going to put it right at the top or at the end of that loop, just like this. And I'm going to bend it right around, and there's my loop. It's much easier to trim the wire so that you can get a nice round loop. There, okay, that's this. Okay, that part is done. Now what we're going to do is we're going to just take our chain nose pliers. I'm going to open this jump ring, just like that. Then I'm going to add my little witch's hat, and then the crystal there. And then I'm just going to close that jump ring, and it's done. There's my first charm. Now we're just going to use this medium jump ring to attach it to our chain. But I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of the charms before we get to that. So moving on to the little pumpkin here. And we're gonna save the jump rings that attach to your chain at the end, because you only want to open them once. The less amount of times that you open a jump ring, the better, because if you keep opening it back and forth, the wire starts to get weak. Okay, so this one we have a crystal bead, and this again is an eye pin. We'll have a crystal bead, the little orange bead, and your bead cap. And then we're going to go through again and make a loop. And this is just a simple loop. So chain nose pliers like this, 90 degrees. Cut it off about less than a half an inch. Okay, then my round nose pliers at the end of that wire, and just curl back. Done. Okay, so that is that bead. All right, let's put our little witch on the end of that. So you got to find the opening. I'm sorry if I'm out of camera. I'm kind of at a disadvantage in where I'm standing right now, and how close I am to the camera, because it's a little bit different than doing like tutorials, and so it's really close to my table. Okay, so that is our third charm. Okay, the fourth charm, this one is made with a head pin, and there's a couple different kinds of head pins. This head pin has kind of like a ball at the end, but there's also flat head pins that kind of look like a nail. So this is your ball head pin, and we're going to string our pearl bead on here. And then this is kind of tricky, because this is a bead within your little round, I don't know what she calls it. It's a little square charm. So we're going to have to thread it together, all at one piece. So I'm going to put it in the bottom like this. Oops. And then get the bead in there, and then it comes through like that. Cute, isn't that cute? And a little twirl in the middle. Very cute. Okay, And then I have my other pearl bead that goes on top. And then again, simple loop, 90 degrees. Trim it off. I'm going to be picking these up off my floor. Round nose pliers at the end. Curl back. Simple loop. Okay. This one kind of got a little bit further away from the end, probably because of that square, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. Okay. And then at the end here, you've got a just your regular kitty charm with the jump ring. So now all I need to do is take my chain nose pliers, open my jump rings, and attach each charm to my chain. Oh, come on, you little silly thing. Okay, so I'm going to put that one on here. And what you also want to do is kind of lay out how far you want each charm on here. So I'm going to guess probably about 3 lengths in between each one. That's probably a fair assumption. So I'm going to put this on my chain, close up the jump ring. There's my first charm on my chain. Just like that. Okay. The next one, my little pumpkin. I'm going to take it and put it on about the 3rd ring from the first charm. If I can get it in there. Okay. There we go. Okay, and about 3 lengths from the pumpkin. 1, 2, 3. Put it right on there. Okay. All right. Okay, and then the last 2. Really easy and simple. 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. I don't know. The chain looks a little longer now, but you can always adjust it a little bit too if you want, till you get down to the end. But this is going to work for me for now. And if you want to be precise, count them, and then divide it by the number of charms you have. Okay, and I'm going to put my kitty on there. Don't want to forget her. Oops. Okay, close up that jump ring, and we have a finished charm. Isn't that cute? Really fun and very easy to do. Here's the one that I made for my album that I'm working on, and it has some of these charms from ButterBee Scraps. They're just adorable. Cute little scarecrow and a bat, witch hat, a ghost, and the pumpkin. And then I just put some beads from my stash and bead caps that I had in my jewelry findings. Also, I wanted to share with you a couple other chunky charms that I've done as well. So I'll grab here a couple. Okay, this one is actually very simple. It's one that I made for this baby album that I did for a friend, and it has just some beads and a cute little charms that have a heart, little princess crown, made for an angel t-shirt and a cute little moon with a star, and this is another star. And then I have some of these cute little metal beads that have letters on it, and this just says baby. I just love that. And this is very simple, has the same concepts as the charm that we just made here. A couple other charms that I have are a little bit more extravagant. So on this one, this is an album I did a couple years ago, and it is a really, really chunky charm. So I've got my regular, for this one, I have a big clasp, and then I put some, whoops, can't see that. This is one of those big Tim Holtz clasps, and I put, my ribbon's coming off of it. And I just tied some ribbons on it, and then I made this chunky charm. And they're actually kind of, some are smaller or shorter, some are longer. So like this one just has a little rondelle with a leaf, and I tried to, put like the same types of colors, like green, red, for because it's a Christmas album. So that is one of my chunky charms. And then I have another one that I made, very similar actually, because these are the two that I actually have in my stash that I've kept. So this one is a little bit different. I actually made some really long lengths off of my charm here, and I just used some of the same colors that go with the album. This is from the Graphic 45 Enchanted Forest papers, and I had these cute little charms that have this little fairy and some old vintage type things. And then I also took some Wild Orchid Crafts rosebuds and dipped them in ultra thick embossing enamel, and then heated it so it's really hard. It's like a bead. And then so I just have kind of like, this one has actually two charms at the end of it. It's really cute. I love doing this. I think these are so fun. It makes your projects look so much better. It gives a little bit of charm to it, I guess you could say. And that's that one. So that is it for the charm tutorial part of this session. I will be back again with my mini album that I've made from this collection, and I hope you get some inspiration to make some of these yourself.